Welcome back. The Yore Memorial Car Show is back this weekend. We've got Paul Knapp, the executive director, with us live in studio this morning with what's happening for this year's show and a lot more happening this weekend. Thanks so much for being here, Paul.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to talk about this. You will get to check out some vintage cars, more than 200 of them, I think Paul said, this weekend in downtown St. Joe. Tell us what's happening.
That's right. This Friday from 4 to 8 p.m. we're going to fill downtown with over 200 vintage cars from across the region. We're going to take up every parking spot that we can. Hopefully it won't frustrate too many, but you can find a spot on the street in the residences and make your way downtown. It's going to be a great night. Yeah,
I know we have some videos showing the event in years past, and it does look pretty crowded downtown. Oh, yeah. Might cause some traffic issues, but kind of walk us through what it's like when you show up to this event. Obviously, there are dozens of cars parked along the street there for you to can you get in? Can you check them out? Do you admire from afar?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of owner dependent. Right? A lot of the owners are sitting by their cars. They got their lawn chairs out. They've been there all day, probably parked since 1 o'clock, if not earlier, just kind of chatting with people and hanging out. This is kind of like their thing. And so, some folks will let you get in the car. Some folks have a whole history about how they restored it.
So cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing.
And you mentioned not just older cars, but newer cars, really, really old cars. I think you said Model Ts even up there. That's so cool.
It's a wild variety. Custom cars that have all the lights and all the stuff that we were all jealous of watching Fast and Furious in the 2000s, all the way back to the first cars that Henry Ford put together, and supercharged Corvettes and all the like. So we welcome cars from all over.
And this is something that happens every year. You were kind of giving us the history in the 6 o'clock hour of how it started and how it has become the Yore Memorial Car Show. Talk about that, Paul.
Yeah, Mike and Connie Yore were they were staples in the community. They really cared about local events. They cared about St. Joe, and they were part of the initial group that started the Venetian Festival in 1979, which was just a staple event for our area. It brought in huge musical acts like Cheap Trick and 38 Special and Luke Bryan. But they disbanded the festival in 2011. A huge part of that was the Memorial Car Show. And so St. Joe Today took on the show in 2012. So it's kind of the last remaining remnant of the Venetian Festival.
Really cool. And so glad that you all are able to keep this going. And you mentioned the car show kicking off Friday evening. So much more happening in St. Joe this weekend as well. Talk about that, Paul.
Yeah, just this week we've got 7 events. So today at noon we kick off our Brown Bag Concert Series, which is our oldest and longest running event with St. Joe Today. That was the first thing that started in 1980.
Wow.
So that will begin and go up until Labor Day. That's at noon. And then tonight we have our new event, the Family Night in the Plaza. So that's in Court Place Plaza across from Silver Harbor Brewing. We'll just kind of fill it with family fun. Tonight we have a youth performance showcase, kind of a little youth talent show, and then we'll have a musical petting zoo and some arts and crafts there. So just a way for families to get out. Friday we have the Memorial Car Show, as well as it kicks off our Friday night concert series in the band shell. And then Saturday we've got 3 events. We've got the Lighthouse Tours, we have the Farmers Market, and our Artisan Fair.
Very, very cool. So no shortage of events for you to choose from in St. Joe. And you also mentioned just the great location and scenery in St. Joe. If you haven't been to the area, I haven't, but the way you describe it, I've got to check it out.
Come on down. Yeah, downtown St. Joe is this beautiful, charming little Mr. Rogers neighborhood that sits on the bluff and overlooks Silver Beach and the lake. There's a carousel and a giant fountain and splash pad. Get a slice of pizza at Silver Beach Pizza, or grab a social district and walk around and see the cars on Friday. It's a great place to spend a weekend.
Yeah, well, the events that are happening this weekend, are some of them ticketed or some of them free? How does that work for people that are like, hey, how do we work this out?
Everything is free to participate in it, with one exception. Our Lighthouse Tours, which is free to walk up, and you can visit in the first floor and see all the elements and talk to our volunteers there, but to climb to the top of it, it's a $5 fee.
Nice, good to know. All right, well, what are we leaving out about all that's happening this weekend, the car show, or just the area of St. Joe in general. You know all the things.
Yeah,
Paul.
well, I like to think I know all the things. I don't know. We've got tons of events all year long. So our mission in St. Joe today is to host 12 months worth of programming to inspire visitors and residents to come out and enjoy their community. And so one of our major events is coming up the first weekend in August. That's July 31st through August 2nd. So our Chalk the Block. We bring in chalk artists from across the country.
Whoa.
To fill St. Joe with chalk art. We close the streets. And
very cool.
It's a really cool weekend.
Well, as far as the car show, again, that's happening Friday starting at 4 o'clock, you said, right? I'm guessing you already have all of your participants for people wanting to show off their cars, or can people still get in
So
on that?
you can pre-register, but you can also just show up.
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll start lining cars up around 1 o'clock. We'll start parking them in their spots. It's first come, first serve. And so
Okay.
we don't reserve spots for anyone in particular. And so cars can just show up and we'll get you parked whether you're pre-registered or not. Pre-registration kind of helps us keep an email list, make sure people
Prepare
get
in
invited back
advance.
every year, but it is not required to participate.
Okay, nice. Well, if you've got a car you want to show off, just show up. And they've got that event happening on Friday. Paul, I appreciate you joining us early this morning to give us all those details.
Yeah, thank you, Emily.
Hope everything goes out great this weekend.
Well, I'm sure it will.
All right, we're back after this.